Welcome to the Life of KG, your ultimate destination for all things motivation and business insights. Join me, Katie Godfrey, serial entrepreneur and the brains behind the KG brand. Along the way, we'll welcome inspiring guests and share invaluable business tips to fuel your growth journey. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. With that said, let's dive into the world of success together. Hey everyone, welcome back to A Life of KG. Super excited about this episode because I met Angela when I moved here in Dubai and she has just been like a real inspiration. So I couldn't wait to get her on the show. Her content relates to me all the time about what I'm physically going through in my business. So I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited, Katie. So thank you for asking me along.
Oh, you're so welcome. First of all, do you want to do an intro? Who you are, what you do?
Sure. So I'm Angela McKillop. I moved to Dubai just about 2 years ago and I've been in business since I was 21. Just the employed life just wasn't for me at all. So we started off in sort of property and renovations, and then my husband and I started a home improvements business. We grew that to 7 figures. We then did another home improvements business afterwards. And now we are in sales and marketing. So we help sort of small to medium-sized businesses with amplifying their sales and their messaging and positioning so that they can obviously grow and scale their business.
Amazing. Love that. And sales and marketing is literally like a place in my heart. Absolutely love it. So we can talk lots on that today. You have the most incredible story. From obviously building extremely successful businesses and then losing it all.
Yep.
I remember listening to one of your talks in person. I was like, wow, this is just incredible. Sad and incredible all at the same time. Can you tell us a little bit more about your story?
Sure. So we started a home improvements business from zero, and we learned very quickly that we could really disrupt the industry. I think a female touch on the trades approach was really special, and I just wanted everything to be clean and organised and tidy and on time, and that just spread. You know, the business really grew arms and legs, and in year 5 we turned over 5 million. And I think a lot of people hear that and they think, oh wow, that's amazing, and they don't get what it actually takes to get there. And I know that you can relate to this because there's just so many things that you never consider when you're getting into business, not just the hard work and the journey, but the people that you lose along the way, the people that have a different perception of you, the sleepless nights, you know, how you're going to make cash flow, how you're going to make payroll, the difficult clients where you become such a people pleaser because you're terrified of maybe them spreading something about you and your reputation's ruined. So that 5 years was really, really tough. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about business. So basically we get into commercial. It started to get really super successful. We were building hotels, restaurants.
Wow.
And it was just incredible. You know, we loved it. And the thing about this business for us was it was never about the money. It was just about what we could achieve. The money was the byproduct. And I think the journey was just so enjoyable. We met so many wealthy people. We had so many experiences. We were taken to, you know, Porcelanosa Spanish trips, and because we were spending so much money with these merchants, and it was just incredible. And then we were successful for around 10 years. And then after that, the business collapsed. And that took us on a journey that I just could never contemplate or plan for. And I used to hear people when I was younger say, I don't know who I am anymore. And I thought, what a strange thing to say. What does that even mean? And that's exactly how I felt. I didn't know who I was. I lost all my purpose, my identity, because as you know, when you build a business, your whole life revolves around that.
Yeah.
Your whole conversation, your goals, your thoughts, everything, you know, even people know you as the person that has that business. And so it collapsed. And the main reason for that was we actually had a client that was responsible for about 80% of our revenue. And he stopped building, stopped investing. So we had to scramble really quickly to try and make sure that we could save the business. And we put a lot of personal money in, all their savings. We started selling things just to try and keep it afloat because the business was the baby. We just didn't want to lose it. And it was 10 years of hard work, but unfortunately we just couldn't save it, and we had to take the advice of an accountant and just lose it, just let it go. So it was awful. It was absolutely awful. It was like grief.
I am so privileged to know the inside of so many businesses, hundreds, if not thousands. And the one thing that loads of people struggle with is numbers. We make so much money, but then it's gone by the end of the month. We don't know where it's gone. We don't know our outgoings. We don't know our incomings. We don't know our profit margins with the treatments, which is an absolute must if we are running a business. I have been working long and hard creating an app that is for you to make sure that you know your numbers inside out and become the CEO you really need to be. So make sure you check out the show notes below and find out more.
I can imagine it was like grief. And the thing is, especially when I can resonate so much with your business being your identity, I felt like that with my first salon. And I just felt, well, that's what I'm known for. That's what I'm successful for. And everything goes into that. And we actually closed the last salon just before I moved here. And for me, that was a big identity shift as well. But to lose such a successful business as well, I guess as well, you thought so much possibly about what other people thought as well.
Oh my goodness.
What are they going to think? Did that hit you?
That kept me awake at night for a long time, longer than it should have. And we actually became like a recluse. We just didn't want to leave the house because I was so scared of bumping into someone who would say, oh, what happened? And, you know, a lot of it was just for gossip. People just wanted to report back to people. And I'm guessing you and I had a similar upbringing where it's like, don't get too big for your boots. Don't forget where you came from. And it's like you break the mold, you become successful, and people kind of want to see you fail.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. I could sense that when people were asking, there was definitely a sort of smugness there and and probably validation for them as to see, this is why I play safe. This is why I've got a secure job, and this is why I stay where I'm at. And it just felt awful, but I worried constantly about what people were saying about me, what they thought, because I felt like such a failure. And it's so funny that, you know, you just think these people, like, why does it matter? These people had never built what I'd built. They were never going to the places that I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
They had never even tried, a lot of them. So why did their opinions matter so much? So I think when I say I couldn't have planned for how I felt, there was definitely a lot of, you know, guilt. There was a lot of shame. There was a lot of embarrassment around it. And yeah, I just couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake this feeling that, and of course you feel like the whole world has eyes on you when actually you look back and you realise that, yeah, they maybe had a quick conversation, but that was it. I felt like the whole world was talking about me every time I closed my eyes at night. So that definitely kept me awake for a long time.
Gosh. How long, you said obviously about being a recluse at home and stuff, how long did it take to kind of get out of that hole that you was in?
I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but it took around 2 years for me to get out that hole. And I think losing the business was horrendous, but probably that 2-year period was even worse because I had a victim mindset. I questioned a lot of, like, why me? I'm a good person. I've got good intentions. Why did this happen to me? I've helped so many people. I don't understand, you know, have I peaked? Maybe I'm not good enough to do this. Maybe this is what happens when you try and break the mold and become successful. So I really beat myself up in so many ways for a good few years about I just wasn't good enough and I was never going to achieve anything in life ever again. And on top of that, obviously replaying conversations that were just made up. I just assumed that everyone had something to say. So I'm embarrassed to say it, but it was about 2 years where I was really stuck in a hole.
What then made you get out of that then? What one day was you just like, right, I've had enough, I need to pull myself together? Like, what was that?
I think there was lots of moments where I had that thought of, I can't go on like this, something needs to change. I just felt like everywhere I turned, there wasn't really an answer. I don't think, you know, people didn't understand. I didn't have that support network of anyone that could come in and say, this has happened to me and this is exactly what you have to do right now. There was a lot of, like, head tilts and sympathy from like family. And then, yeah, I just didn't have people that understood. So I was really in my own head, just battling back and forth. And so there was thoughts of, okay, something has to change, but I just didn't know that step to take. Like, what was I going to do? How did I find the strength to actually get back out there again? And so I was met with all these sort of internal battles. And then one day I met a business associate and he said to me, Angela, you need to take this ticket. It's called A Day to Change Your Life. It's happening on Saturday. I can't make it. You have to go. And obviously I wasn't really leaving the house at this point, but something about the name in that ticket. And I thought, that is exactly what I need right now. I don't know what it is, but I need it. And so I went along, and that took so much effort to get in the shower and get dressed and go there and appear. And, you know, it was sweaty palms and my heart was beating out my chest because my self-worth and confidence was like rock bottom. And that on top of the fear of maybe I'm going to bump into someone I know. Or what if someone says to me, what is it you do? It's like, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know what to say.
The dreaded question.
The dreaded question. And so it was very, very uncomfortable. But I think within the first hour of being there, I just thought, oh my goodness. And this guy spoke about the power of thought, the power of your self-belief and self-worth and confidence, and the fact that your external reality is actually because of your internal reality. So he started to plant all these seeds, and I thought, this makes sense. I can understand this. And then I just started to feel like a fraud because the people that were sharing stories there, it was all horrendous stories. People had 6 months to live. People had lost their children. People were battling with horrific abuse stories from their childhood. And I just thought, why am I here? I've lost the business. And here I am in this victim mindset, feeling really sorry for myself. And it snapped something in me. I found this like power and fire and determination. And I think what I didn't realise looking back, it was just that switch from the victim mindset to gratitude. Because I started looking around and thinking, well, actually at this moment in time, I do have a roof over my head. I do have my family. I do have my health. There's some food in the fridge. And I started finding things to be grateful for instead of things to feel sorry for myself about. So that day for me literally was a day to change my life. I walked out of there thinking, I am going to go out and help people. I'm going to show them that you can come back from anything, and I'm going to lead by example, and I'm going to share all my failures, and I'm going to share all the things that made me successful in the first place. I'd lost all that. I forgot about all the things that I'd used to make me successful. I was so focused on the failure aspect. So I thought, what if I team this together and start a business to help people? How amazing would that be?
Wow. And is that still the business you have today?
Yes.
And that's more successful than ever, right?
Yes. It's bigger than what I could ever have anticipated, because the reason is, yes, money's amazing, okay? It gives us experiences and freedom and financial peace of mind, and all of that's important, but a business should be fully aligned with who you are and what you do. It should give you that time freedom. You should be in control of your own diary. You should have clients that you're so excited to get in front of. And it should have good intentions. It should have that ripple effect of whatever you teach and whatever you put out there should have a ripple effect on the people that are on the receiving end of that. And so there's so many boxes that this business ticks for me, and it has evolved, it's changed. And, you know, my client base is very different now to what it was back then, but it is still the same business, and it's something that I'm so proud of, and it's taught me more than my previous business ever did, which is just phenomenal.
It's funny, isn't it? Because things happen in mysterious ways, and even though like that was an awful time for you, you wouldn't have what you have now, and you know all of these things without going through that time.
No way.
But I know mindset though is like it's not about just right, I've got a good mind now. We know that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure there is dips and stuff that you have naturally, like we all have. But how did you keep hold of having that strong mindset? Because I know that's something you don't tolerate for now.
Absolutely not. I absorbed myself in it, and I became ruthless when it came to eliminating negative energy and negative mindsets ruthless. Because I thought, if I'm going to be somebody and I'm going to get somewhere and I want to achieve my goals, I have to be relentless. And unfortunately, that means pulling yourself away from that negativity. So that was the first thing, because I know so many people that do the work and they absorb themselves in the podcasts and the books and the courses and the mentors, and then they go back to their older circles and it just pulls them straight back down again. And we used the word draining earlier before we went live, and that's exactly what it is. It's very difficult. And I use this analogy of it's like eating healthy and clean all week and going to the gym 4 times, and at the weekend just living on McDonald's and alcohol, and you just undo all your hard work. So that's the first thing that I did, and I became obsessive with exposing myself to the best possible mindset. So whether that was people, whether it was the audiobooks, the podcasts, documentaries, I was obsessed with success stories and just making my brain a sponge for that positivity. And what I did realise that I had built, which a lot of people struggle, was resilience. And if you are resilient, you are halfway there if you can deal with that.
Yeah.
And it's a constant, evolution. You always have to work on it. You're never done. And I am a completely different person now, but I know that there's levels that I still want to reach, because there's little things where it still bothers me sometimes, and I have to breathe and I have to journal on it, and I have to talk to myself and go into my little toolkit and be like, what does this actually mean? Okay, now I'm fine. I'm back on track. So I'm not immune to it, but I definitely am very self-aware now, and I know exactly how to overcome it. But I think, absorbing yourself with it, but don't forget to get rid of all the negative energy and the draining aspects.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that you was absorbing yourself in all those success stories, and now you are like that success story for so many people?
And I forget. I forget
amazing.
that.
I just love that. So obviously you love marketing.
Yes.
What would you say is marketing for you? Because so many people would assume that's just social media, but what does marketing mean to you?
I think the first thing that I want to say around that before we get into the marketing strategy is marketing has to align with the individual. So if you're following a marketing program and it's telling you to do all these things and you don't feel comfortable with it, or it doesn't quite sit well with your values or your business model, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I know so many people that have done that. So alignment, authenticity, honesty, you're 50% there if you can tick those boxes. And then when it comes to the strategy, and this is how I balance it for people. So my marketing is 50% mindset, energetics, alignment. And then the other 50% is the actual logistics, the strategy of social media, email marketing, meta ads, funnels and nurturing people, but also the offline thing, because especially here in Dubai, as you and I have learned, it's a very different beast out here, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I don't have time for all these coffees.
Exactly. So there's an offline aspect of building relationships and, getting to network events and, giving value for free again, so that people can see who you are and how you can help them. So yeah, I would say marketing is so much, but do you know the biggest piece of marketing that people miss is the basics? And it drives me insane. It is my biggest bugbear, where I see all these people, out at networking events and they're on podcasts and they're investing 6 figures in their websites and their funnels and their meta ads. And it's like they don't do the basics, so they can't communicate properly. They don't get back to people. They show up late all the time. And it's like, that is the basics of business. And I always say to people, if you do that to me, so I have lots of people in my inbox that just ghost me, for whatever reason. So I never reach out to people in my inbox. It's only people who get in touch with me. Now that shows that they're interested, they want a conversation. I start that conversation, it gets to a point where, and it's always the investment, where people get fearful, or they think, it's not the right time, or they just get super busy and they forget to get back to you. So there's people in my inbox that I know that I could introduce them to their dream clients in my network. But if they're not going to get back to me, how can I trust that they're going to get back to my closest connections? And I am not putting my name in the line for these people. I am not saying, I know you didn't get back to me, but listen, I've got this client who will invest in you like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that risk. That's marketing. People are marketing themselves constantly. And it pains me because I'm like, you're investing so much time and money into getting the best of the best. And you're missing, what's the saying? It's like, you lose diamonds while you're out collecting stones.
Yeah.
And it's so true. You have to do it all. And sometimes that means taking a step back and thinking, okay, I can't be at networking events every single day. You know, I can't be on podcasts every single day. I have to lower that because that element of my business is equally as important, and that's going to get me referrals. That's going to get me introductions. Yeah. That's going to get me my dream clients. So I think people miss the mark with marketing sometimes.
I really like that you actually touched on it that way, because there's been so many people where, you know, maybe we have invited them on the podcast, or we've done some exchange of something, and they seem really high up.
Yeah.
And then you start these conversations and I'm like, how are you running this business?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Have you just winged the whole lot? Or actually is this like not actually what it seems to be? Like, it's baffling. And like, the not getting back, or forgetting to send what they said they would send, or the chasing you're having to do. And you're like, you shouldn't really have to do any of that when you're a business owner.
Absolutely not. That's the thing that you need to take responsibility for. And I've heard a lot of people say like, oh, sometimes I just get really overwhelmed, or, you know, I suffer from anxiety. And I'm like, listen, I don't have that, so I can't relate to it. I understand where you're coming from and I sympathise with that. But listen, you're a business owner now, so you have to plug that. So you either need to get uncomfortable and push through it, or you need to outsource it. Yeah. So don't accept it as a personality trait. Strong entrepreneurs plug the weaknesses. So you have to be constantly thinking outside the box. If that's something that you find really overwhelming, you know, if you've got 10 people to get back to and your brain just can't comprehend it, what are you going to do about it? Get someone who can do it for you. Get some automations in place. You know, you need to find a way around it, rather than just saying, well, that's my personality trait, so I really struggle to do that. So I think this is what people miss. There's a lot of just like acceptance, but when you step in to be a business owner, it has to be the best of your ability at all times. If you want to grow and scale and make the millions that you say you do, there can't be any weaknesses in there. You have to plug them. Yeah.
And we're hearing it all the time, right? With, you know, I get anxiety, so I can resonate with that. But lots of people will say about overwhelm and this, that, and it's like the excuses time and time again.
Yep.
But it's like, business isn't for the faint-hearted.
No.
Like, how those that are listening that like, I really want to build a business, but I really struggle with overwhelm, or they've got all these just excuses, doesn't matter what they are.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So I would say very similar to what I've just said there. So the first question is how can we plug these weaknesses? Okay, so let's simplify it, because I think when people have that personality type where they're easily overwhelmed or easily anxious, we need to simplify. So sometimes it's just about doing 3 things well rather than trying to do 10 things average. So I think simplifying it is a really important starting point. And then it's looking at, okay, how can we streamline this for you? How can we make it easier? And there's a lot of people that I work with who say things like, oh, I've just forgot to set boundaries because I don't know how to. I don't know how to have that conversation, or this client's been getting this for free for the last 6 months, so I'm just going to continue to give it to her for the next 6 months. And it's like, no, don't do it. So I think it's really important to educate yourself and get that support to know that things can be different. I was just speaking to someone the other day whose dream clients are a very, very different niche to what she's in at the moment. And actually those dream clients suit her working hours. She's like, I will give my all within working hours and at the weekend, but I need to be there for the school run, the pickups, the drop-offs. You know, I'm never going to be successful. And I'm like, oh, you absolutely will. It's just finding the right clients that fit into your business model, that understand those boundaries. That's not a reason that you're not going to become successful. It's just about organisation, streamlining, having those conversations, setting the expectations from the start. And I think a lot of people don't realise that that's something they can do. It's okay to do that. So yeah, I think boundaries, communication, a lot of people shy away from it, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's like the messages in the inbox. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that part of it, but it's like, it's been 2 days. It's like, okay, I'll need to get back to that one. And then it's been 2 weeks. So then it's so uncomfortable of
Yeah.
how do I start that conversation again? Or what do I say? Like, how do I say I'm sorry I haven't been in touch? So then it becomes so big to deal with that they just completely leave it alone.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't have a good impact. So, yeah, sometimes we have to take that deep breath and power through when it feels uncomfortable rather than get to the point where it feels like it's something that I just cannot possibly do now. So it's that saying, isn't it? If it takes 2 minutes, do it. Just get it done and out the way. And I think people need to understand, regardless of personality types, that we can do things afraid. We can do things when we're uncomfortable. And, I'm still there. I'm still out my comfort zone every single day. I don't use that as a reason not to do something. I use that as a reason to press forward.
Yeah.
That's my sign from the universe that this is what I should be doing. So I think letting people understand that fear is not a reason to not do it. That fear is there, and that's okay. It's finding a way around that to say, okay, this is uncomfortable, but it's going to be worse if I leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's just going to get bigger.
Yeah. That's what I find really difficult, though, because people have what we would call excuses all of the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, my gosh, daily there's something I'm nervous of doing, or,
Of course.
or I'm always putting myself in situations. I'm like, why am I doing this? But I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go to that networking meeting, and I'm going to stand on that stage, or I'm going to reach out to that client. Like,
Exactly.
you have to push yourself to be able to get the breakthroughs. Otherwise,
Totally.
you're just always going to be in the same place.
100%. And it's uncomfortable. Building a business it's uncomfortable. And if you're trying to avoid that, you're going to stay stagnant for a long, long time. There is no business building without discomfort, without investment, without improving yourself.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. It'll get you so far, and then it'll just be stagnant.
Yeah. I had a call the other day, and she was like, well, I think I'll be ready to do this in 2 years because my daughter starts school. I literally turned around to her, I was like, why are you making excuses? Like, when it's 2 years' time. Like, the world could be ended in 2 years' time.
Absolutely.
Like, my gosh. And it's a difficult one, but I think sometimes we've just got to get out of our own way and just push forward to be able to get to where we actually want to go.
Especially if you want to achieve the success that you speak about, because I'm sure you've had maybe comments as well, like, oh, you're so lucky, or, it's all right for you, and, I would love to do what you do. And it's like, and anyone can. Anyone can achieve whatever they want in life, but they have to be willing to take those risks. They have to be willing to invest when the timing doesn't feel 100% right. They have to be willing to go, this is so uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's how you build a business and a life that you desire. It's stepping into that no man's land and that uncertainty. It's amazing what you learn and how you grow. So I think people just need to understand, but I've had that so many times as well. Like, it's a lot of people moving to Dubai. I'm going to move to Dubai 3 years in January. And I'm like, why 3 years in January? It's like, oh, well, the kids will be at this stage, and, and then my husband's job will be like, there's all these reasons. And I always say to them, in 3 years, there'll be another reason as to why you can't do that, because your kids might be older, but then they're going to have opinions about what happens in their life, or your husband might get another job opportunity, or you just can't say that. It's like, if you're going to do it, you need to act on it, because we are wired to talk ourselves out of things. And when people are left to their own devices, I have people all the time who sit in front of me and they're like, how quick can we start? Get the invoice across. I've got 3 invoices sitting from the last 2 weeks that haven't been paid, because people then go back, they get in their own heads, they find all the reasons not to, and they make excuses like, there's been a change in the industry. I need to wait to the weekend so my husband and I can sit down. I have been in so many situations. I am that person where I'm like, I need to speak to my husband, not so that he can tell me what to do, just so that I can process it, get a different perspective. But if I had the opportunity to sign up to someone, I'd be saying to them, could you give me 5 minutes? I would go and phone them and say, right, this is where I'm at. What do you think? Or I would do it as soon as I got home and get back to them. When people need to wait to the weekend so that they have that time to sit down and speak to their husband so that they can make a decision, I already know they're not coming back. Because what happens in those 4 or 5 days is the brain does what it's built to do, where it will go and it will find all the reasons for you not to do this.
Yeah.
And by the way, I am going to write a book about the reasons and the excuses about why not to invest. There is nothing that I've not heard. And it gets so creative. And then what happens is they start to manifest it because they become fearful of the investment, or they become fearful of the success. And a lot of people have said to me, I'm worried about your expectations of me. Am I going to meet your expectations? And I'm like, this is a team effort. You know, we're going to do this together. This is not about me setting the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to push you out your comfort zone, but this is a together thing. This is not about you rising to meet expectations. And so there's so much fear around that. So I already know what's going to happen. And I know we spoke the other day about this. I actually did send the woman a message to say, I don't think you're ready. I wish you well and no thank you type thing, because you know how that relationship's going to go. And I know that I operate at my best and I get my best results with the people who are all in. And some of them are scared and some of them are, you know, terrified of going on social media or terrified of pitching themselves to higher level clients. But they're still investing and they're still showing up. And that's the people that I go above and beyond for, because I know what it's taken for them to step into that and go, do you know what? In spite of all this, I know this is where I need to be. Those are the people that I do take out for dinner and I'll hug them and, you know, and they'll get upset about things. And I'm like, I love those clients because they're still acting. And it shows that that goal is way more important to them than how they're feeling in themselves right now. That's the people that get results. And I'm sure you have experienced that many, many times over.
Very much. You got to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Of course.
Like, all the time. All the time.
Of course.
Social media. I saw a post of yours.
Oh gosh.
Which said you made a pact to post on socials every single day.
Yep.
How long has that been now?
3 years on the 12th of May.
So first of all, how has that gone? And secondly, how are you doing it?
So yeah, I just Gary Vee, if you're familiar with him, I think he talks about the power of consistency and compound effect. And he actually gave someone a really hard time because they were saying, oh, I've been posting every day for, I think it was like 8 weeks. And, you know, I've not had any interest. And he absolutely tore them to shreds. He's like, you know,
imagine.
how like presumptuous of you, how rude and arrogant for you to assume that after 8 weeks that you're going to get sales and inquiries. Like, what do you think you are? And it's so funny because I'll, not to that extent, but I'll sometimes say to my clients, if they've been posting for like a month and their goal is to do £10,000 consistent months, and after a month they're like, you know, I'm not there yet. I'm like, do you expect to be in the top 1% of females within 4 weeks? Because that's a big ask. So it's really important to bring that reality back. But yeah, I just made a commitment to myself because I just know the power of consistency. I know the power of the compound effect. And I thought, let's see how this goes. So it's been 3 years and the 12th of May passed. And I cannot tell you what that's done for me. Like, I have niched and niched and niched along the way. And that's because of the response to the posts. And it's getting to know people in my DMs and learning who exactly is it I want to help. Like, where am I giving maximum value? Would I enjoy? Who are the types of people that I really crave working with? So that's came off the back of social media posts. And social media has been the one thing that's been responsible for me hitting my first 10K month, my first 30K month. And I always tell this story. I did my first 10K month with under 1,000 followers. I had 987 followers when I did my first 10K month. I did my first 30K month with 3,500 followers.
Wow.
So I can't wait to get to 10,000 followers, because if it keeps going the way it's going in this business, you know, I'll be delighted. But this is the thing. It's like people lose sight of quality and you do not need 100,000 followers. I've worked with people with 80,000 followers who are not bringing in any money. I've worked with people with 2,000 followers who are doing 10K months, 20K months. It's about the quality of your social media.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes back to what I said at the beginning about the alignment piece, the authenticity, the storytelling, not being afraid to show up and talk about your experiences and your opinions. It's like you and I have gone quite deep today with the excuses mindset, the ghosters. 3 years ago, I wouldn't have spoken about that, and you probably wouldn't have either, because there's that fear around, how am I going to be perceived? And, am I going to cut off like part of my market? And it's like, when you niche and you know your value, I know that we're speaking to our ideal audience right now.
Yeah.
And that's the type of people that you attract in, because they'll resonate with that and they'll say, that's exactly how I feel, or these are the women that I want to be working with, where they've got that strong, assertive nature. They're a bit, you've got that, understanding and empath side as well. But that's what people want. They're not investing in us to be their friends. They're investing for leadership and guidance and strong personalities to say, this is absolutely what we need to be doing right now. That's how they get their confidence and the direction. That's all social media. And so I find it very, very easy. And I've been in those situations where I've invested in coaches and they're like, you have to post this, this and this, and you have to sell every day. You have to have a call to action on every post. And I was like right in there and working with sales trainers, like, you must have this in your social media, and it just doesn't feel aligned. And so the alignment piece for me has been huge. So my biggest engagement posts are stories that are unique to me. So an experience that I've had in business that I can share with other people, a traumatic experience, a vulnerable experience, something that I know has contributed towards the size of my business right now, that I've done specifically. That's what lands and that's what works. And when you make, without living your life in social media, but when you make your social media about you and what you can bring in terms of your value, your knowledge and expertise, your own stories, no one can touch that. No one. That's what makes you so unique. So it becomes easy because you're just storytelling.
Yeah, it becomes a lot easier, because otherwise it's so overwhelming. And what do I post? And you're trying to possibly be something that you're not, because other people are telling you what you should be posting.
Yeah.
I had a coach once that was a sales coach, and they always told me, well, you're not selling on your stories every day. And I was like, well, I've got this far all right without it. But then you'd go, oh yeah, imagine if I could do that every day, would we get more? But actually it lowered everything.
Totally.
And I was like, this doesn't work. It's same when we got a sales company. We got a sales company because the coaches were like, you need to get a sales company if you're doing this well without it. Imagine what you'll do with a sales company. Didn't work.
100%. But it's that thing as well. Like, if I asked you a question, like, how do you like to be sold to? It's like, you don't want to be put under pressure.
No.
You don't want to see call to actions and selling every single day on every single post, because then you look at that person as a marketing machine rather than a person of value.
Yeah.
So there has to be that balance. And I know that we're very similar in that I like to be attracted into someone. I like to get to know them, see their value, see those little pieces of like, oh, they are getting results. So there's that trust and credibility piece. I like to make up my own mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sold to. And I've been there before with coaches who have sat in front of me, high level coaches, and said, what's stopping you from signing up today? And I'm like, that question.
Yeah.
That's exactly what stopped me. It was going so well until you said that, because now it's all about the sale.
Yeah.
It's less about helping me getting to where I need to go, and it's more about the sale.
Yeah.
So it puts me off. And so I'd encourage people to think about that. How do you like to be sold to? And I can guarantee it's probably less aggressive. It's probably in that situation where you can have space to think and absorb it and make up your own mind.
Yeah.
And then that's when people come in and you attract in the right clients, because they've been watching. I'm sure you get this as well. I've people on LinkedIn, I've been watching you for 6 months. Can I sign up to your program?
Exactly.
Like, where did you come from?
Yeah.
So they've just been left alone. They've been left to get to know you and make that decision on their own terms. And so I think there's a balance of educating people, make sure that they know who you are, what you do, how you can help them, the fact that you have a mastermind kicking off, like, they need to know that. But if you're constantly ramming the call to actions down their throat every single day, they're going to get bored.
Definitely. I can couldn't say it better. It's join my 2027 retreats. Oh my gosh, if you haven't been on one of my retreats, you need to come and join one. And in 2027, we have Dubai in April and we have Bali in October. Dubai, think business strategy and mindset, and in Bali, think healing and mindset. They're both going to be very different and equally incredible. So if you want more information, let me know. The link is below. But also, I know it feels ages away, but the spaces go ridiculously fast and we're putting long payment plans in place. So make sure you grab your space today, especially with the bit where you've said, well, why are you going to say sign up to this, or the end bit that you just said about the sales?
What's stopping you from signing up right now?
Signing up? And it was when we had the sales team, it was all for maybe 3 months. It wasn't long because I was like, oh my God, we need to stop this immediately.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of ladies that come to me that had been watching me for a long time, and they were like, Kate, we're just giving you feedback on this. And I'm really open about talking like this because I do not mind. I was so keen and I loved the call. And then as soon as it wasn't me, as soon as the salesperson said about that, and well, why do you need to talk about to your husband and, this and that? She's like, no, she was like, I didn't think you was like that. And I was like, oh my God, I am not like that. Like at all. And we had to scrap it immediately because one, your reputation can plummet.
Totally.
And like I said, it doesn't come back to the values. Mm-hmm. I had a call with someone yesterday, actually, and she said, I need to go and speak to my husband about that. I was like, there's no pressure on me, no pressure to me. Yep. Go and speak to your husband. Let me know if you've got any questions.
Absolutely.
That is it. Like, so much better.
Totally.
Don't tell me I can't talk to someone about my decision.
Exactly.
Not that they're going to tell me yes or no, like you said at the beginning, but I just need to offload it and then I'll come back.
Process it.
But you said about the DMs, and obviously you'll get the natural inquiries. Mm-hmm. So but you also love sales. So what is your sales process? Because lots of people would say the sales calls, harder call to actions. They would say be in them DMs, do the cold messaging. Yeah. So what would your sales process be?
My sales process is attracting them in through my social media. So it is that, and there's pillars, and I make sure that I'm giving value across the board in terms of I want them to look at my social media and know that I have built big businesses, I'm experienced and I'm knowledgeable. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that I look for. Well, why should I invest in you? So I need them to know that. I also share a lot of client stories, and it's not always about results as well, because I think the thing that coaches and consultants can be quite guilty of is sharing the money wins all the time. And it's not all about that. So sometimes it's just like a conversation that you had with a client where someone else can look at that and say, that's me. She's speaking to me. I resonate so deeply with that. Or it can be like a time freedom thing, because that's something that I help a lot of people with, where they resonate deeply. So it's not always about the money wins. And I think there's an awareness there as well. So I call this soft selling. So I speak a lot in my stories about, I was with a client today and we were chatting about XYZ, or whatever it is. I've had 3 clients in the diary today. This is a really busy day for me. And it's like, it's just that awareness that you are actually out, you're still doing what you're doing, you're building the business. And so sometimes that's enough for people to be like, I'm actually going to get in touch with her and see what she can do for me. So it's hitting out those pillars. So the trust piece, the authenticity piece, the authority, the results, and then the value piece as well, because I think people really need to know that you are who you say you are, you know what you're talking about. And I get so many emails, and this has only been in the last 6 months. I never used to get any responses to my emails. And again, because you invest in people and you buy the funnels courses and the nurtures, and you think, okay, I'll do it that way. When I just started writing emails without chat and without a person, it's like my responses have gone through the roof by people saying, and I shared it recently, somebody actually said to me, I actually wait for your emails on a Wednesday and a Sunday because I know I'm going to get value. And every single thing that you write resonates with me. And it's like, that's what your emails should be doing. It shouldn't be, the next new offer and the doors are closing. And it's like, people are so wise to it now. It's like, they know it's a sales tactic. And if you're so in demand, it's like, well, why are you telling me this every single day? If you've got 1 space remaining and you've sent out 10 emails and 10 social media, why are you not filling that space? So it's like, reverse psychology, I suppose, in a way, or the psychology of selling. It's like you need to understand that. So I think my approach, I call it soft selling. It's a framework that I have, and it's literally just that. It's making sure that people can go onto your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your landing pages, your website, and get that feel for you as a person without feeling like they're being sold to in every single post. Like, let them go shop, let them make their own minds up, let them resonate with you, and then decide, then go do the browsing part of like, what does she have an offer right now? Or does she have anything on offer? Maybe I'll just reach out and see. That's a huge part of my process. But the biggest part of my sales process is knowing that the person that's in the DMs or the person sat in front of me is someone that I can genuinely help.
Yes.
So you have to have, and that's for two reasons. One, through good intentions from an energy perspective. Two, for my reputation. Because I'm not taking people on who are selling $37 scarves and they want to do 30K months. I'm like, okay, we got to go some here. We need to go some. So it's like, there's people like that I've sat in front of and I'm like, I love your business model. I love everything that you stand for. I love your goals, but I don't think I'm the right person for you. And they're like, oh no. And I'm like, oh, and it feels difficult, but I need to think about my reputation and who I can genuinely get results for.
Yeah.
But I also need to think about them, because if they're investing at a high level, I need to go in there with that confidence and that energy that we are going to smash it out the park. I don't want to be lying in bed awake at night. I've had my years at that. I do not want to be lying in my bed at midnight thinking, how am I going to get them results?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
So the alignment piece is really important. Make sure that don't treat every DM like a potential client. Treat it as a filter and make sure that you're gathering that information. And people will even come to me and say, I see you were talking about an offer or your mentorship sessions. Like, I'd love to book 3 with you. They don't get to book those 3 until I go back and say, tell me a bit more. Like, tell me about your business. Tell me about what you're trying to achieve right now. I need to make sure that I can go in there and say, right, okay, we need to strip that back. We need to add this in. We need to change this. Is it an energy thing? Is it a confidence thing? Is it a messaging thing? Is it a target audience thing? Is it your offer suite and your offer structure? Is it your price point? So I'm extracting all that information so that by the end of it, I'm like, oh my goodness, the pricing's all over the place. Like, the marketing strategy's all wrong. She definitely needs a lot of work on self-belief and self-confidence. So it's like, I need to have my little tick boxes before I send that link to book. And then I'm excited to show up because I'm like, this person's life's going to totally transform.
Oh, there's nothing better than that as well. And I love that we're so aligned on things that we do. And someone said to me, because obviously currently as we're recording, I'm on Mastermind launch. So we are more salesy than we would ever be.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, because it's application only, they were like, is it really application only?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn right. Yes, it is application only.
Yeah.
I was like, I do a call with everyone that comes in that I do not get paid for. Because I need to make sure that they are right.
Exactly.
I was like, because if I'm, like you said, reputation, if they don't get the results I think they can get, it's going to be better going into a different offer instead.
Definitely.
Like, you have to have that. Obviously, we can't still guarantee results for everyone because it does depend how they work and, how much they implement and stuff.
Of course.
But you've got to know that you can gel with that person. They are the ideal client. You feel that you can get the results with whatever issues they've got going on.
Yep.
Like, it's so important rather than just sending that link.
Absolutely. And it's all about the person. And I'm going to share something that I've never shared before and didn't intend to, but I think it's so important. So it just validates like working with the right person. But we had a client, we have an offer where it's £30,000 like upfront for 3 months. Now, this is our high ticket offer. They get close proximity to me for 90 days. We are building out their whole online sales system, from their marketing, their meta ads, landing pages, funnels, messaging, positioning. It's all singing, all dancing. We had a client come to us and say, how about I invest 15,000 up front and then we'll do the other 15,000 when I start getting results. And my initial reaction is, no thanks, I'm not doing that, blah, blah, blah. And there was something about this guy, and I can't say too much, so I don't want people to know who he is, but this guy is the most hardworking, most disciplined. aggressive in terms of like determination.
Yeah.
And what he has achieved and built in his life through that personality trait is so impressive. And I came back and I said to Stephen, my husband, he was like, it's not really an offer that we have. And I said, well, why not? And he said, well, we've never had to. I said, yeah, because we're always worried about, is that person going to do what they say they're going to do? Are they going to follow the framework that we know works time and time again? He's the guy that's going to prove it. Because he cares. He genuinely cares. And I think we need to do this. I quite like this challenge. And Stephen said, I can see where you're coming from. He's like, right, let's do it. Now, I've been working with him for 3 weeks. He's got 2 high-ticket clients signed up already. And that money just comes straight to us. So everything that he makes until he's paid off his outstanding 15,000 comes to us. There's 2 high-ticket clients in there already. And every single day he is in that chat, he's not put anything onto us. He's like, I love what you're building. I can see the ads. I can see this. It's amazing. What do I need to do? Who do I need to get out and meet? Where do I need to position myself? Should I be doing outreach in LinkedIn? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And so that's the importance of working with the right people. I have never, ever offered that before because it's too risky.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just thought, well, is that an offer for the right people? Potentially, yes, because we're building that trust of this absolutely works if you do. So I think that's a really good example. I wasn't going to share that, but I just think it's so important. It highlights the importance of the right people will absolutely get results all day long.
Definitely, definitely. And following on from that, another post I saw of yours.
I'm always like, what did I put?
I'm going to get the stats. It was like, you used to charge £197 a month.
Oh my gosh.
And now charge 10k a month,
Yep.
which obviously you just stated
Yep.
because obviously 30,000 in 3 months.
Yeah.
How did the mindset shift change from charging from that to that? Because I remember my first coach, she was amazing. She definitely changed the game for me in coaching. And when she first looked at my prices, she called me the budget coach.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a budget coach. You now need to change to this. And I was like, what? But if I didn't take her advice, I would mostly still be where I was 6 years ago.
Yep.
But it does take a big change to charge from
Totally.
under 200 to 10k.
Yep.
So what was the change for you?
I love this topic because when I was charging 197, that was the first thing that I thought I need to move away from this, because in that it was a lot of lower level people. They were scraping to find that £200 a month. Their payments would be late most of the time. They wouldn't show up, and there wasn't a lot of input from them. There wasn't a lot of commitment. And what I realised was those people at that level that I was helping, they were just trying to pay the bills. And I thought, I'm actually not good at that because it's never been my goal. My goal's never been to pay the bills. So how can I help other people pay the bills? It's not my mindset. My mindset's 10x, quantum leaps, collapse time, go bigger, go home. So how can I help these people? Now I got loads of results, but that was my first point. Like, I need to move away from this. And then I think a lot of it was just understanding my own self-worth, like my own experience. And we've all heard these sayings about, people are not paying an hourly rate for an hour of your time. They're paying for the last 10 or 20 years experience. Yeah. And so I started kind of learning about that. And the more confidence I had, the more I can see that I actually operate much better at a high level because that's what I know how to do. I've built 2 7-figure businesses by this point. So why am I charging low level? I need to be up here. So this is the most important thing because I see this all the time. There's, I don't know if you've heard of the company Action Coach.
Yes.
Okay, so I invested in them twice. Once very, very early on before my coaching career, and then once when I became a coach. And they have a workflow, a flow chart, which is the fastest way to get your clients' results is to tell them to increase their prices. Okay, but there's no substance behind it. It's just like charge more, you're worth more, charge more. And I've seen them all on LinkedIn. I know who's getting coached by, not all action coaches are bad, by the way. I want to say that. I had an extremely, extremely good one the second time round, but it's like there's no substance behind it. So I've seen these people on LinkedIn where they're like, oh, I'm doing a deep dive day and it's £2,000. And I'm like, you're not advertising that for like $2.99 like a couple of weeks ago. So I want to know what's changed, because it can't just be because you decide that that's what you're going to charge. And so this is where the sales and marketing comes into it for me. And this is what I help my clients with. I'm like, listen, we need to actually 5x your prices, but there's a process here. Okay. So we need to redefine your target audience. We need to redefine your offer and your value. We need to know exactly who we're marketing to, that messaging, that positioning, how you position yourself throughout your social media, throughout your podcasts. Everything needs to change, and it all needs to align, and it all needs to make sense. The most important part here is what's the transformation and the outcome. That needs to be maximum ROI. If you can guarantee all of that and nail those check boxes, then we put your prices up. So it's a process. But I see so many people doing it the wrong way. It's just like, oh yeah, I want to charge 10 grand a month. I'll just put it out there. Or these people that become so obsessive with universal numbers. Listen, I love an 1111 every day. I love a 222. But it's like when people go from charging £111 to £1,111 because they like the number, it loses its value. It dilutes your whole message because people just think it's because you like the number.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So
you see it all the time.
Because we've seen it,
yeah.
right? It's like, okay, it might be a magic number and I get it and I love the number, but where's the substance? Where's the strategy behind that? Where's that change in value from 111 to 1111? It's like we need to know that and we need to define that. And that's all it was for me. And people might have heard Hormozy talk about solve wealthy people's problems. And that is absolutely the case, because that is what I'm doing. I'm helping people that are a lot further on in their business to invest that 30K. They know exactly what they need. They've already become successful. They want somebody to extract all their ideas, simplify it and make it happen. I'm the person, and I think they appreciate that because I'm not a coach that's read a book in the weekend and called myself a coach.
Oh, gotcha.
It's that real life experience of I can answer their questions based on experience. So if they have an issue and they come to me for sales and marketing and we end up talking about the staff member that's draining the company, and I'm like, listen, if your sales and marketing is going to work, that's an energy leak. So we need to solve that. How do we do it? Right, listen, when I was in this position, this is exactly how I handle it. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So it's like people at that level respect that. So all of a sudden, that value is through the roof because they can see so much from it, and they rely on me to be that person that guides them and leads them through it because I've got real life experience. But I've also got the tools in place to make things happen. Again, high-level entrepreneurs, they don't want to be sitting learning how to upload courses. No. They don't want to be learning meta ads. They want someone to come in and say, we take care of it all. That's it. They want their time back, and they pay to get their time back.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. It's just... It's just all amazing what you're doing at the moment with obviously all of these clients, and to be able to charge from what you was all those years ago to obviously now, but getting the results and, you know, the repeat clients and all of that shows a lot. But there's so many people that do get the pricing wrong. I mean, like, for example, memberships.
Yep.
Like, have you had a membership before?
I've had a membership. I've had masterminds. I've done it all.
What's been your favourite?
Listen, I love the masterminds. I love the groups of people. And I think the collective energy in there when you've got the right people in a room is explosive. And this is for a whole other podcast, but the energy aspect and the universe collectively when people are in a room together amplifies.
Yeah.
People get results through that energy, through being exposed to success stories, being exposed to the different success energies in the room. So I love it for that reason, because I know that 50% of my work is already done by bringing the best people together. I do love the masterminds, but I think the one-to-one close proximity for me is amazing because I think human connection and energy is explosive. But there's something about my passive income courses that I just absolutely love.
Really?
There's something about those $27 Stripe notifications that just land differently.
Yeah, to get the 10K ones, it's the 27.
And I did that one day. I think it was a mastermind. I got somebody signed up for a mastermind, and I'd sold it was a $47 course, passive income course, and I got the Stripe notifications within 5 minutes, and I was in the car and I screenshotted it. And I sent it to Stephen and I was like, woohoo, 2 sales today. And it's like, there's no differentiation between that because money's energy. And it's like, you have to have that same feeling towards it all. But I think that 49 or 47, whatever it was, it's because it's passive. And it's that reminder of, someone said to me, if you can build it once, get paid forever model, you're going to do really well in life. And it stuck with me. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And it also gives me an opportunity to help people who are maybe at the start of their journey, who are maybe not at that level of investing 10K a month or 30K, whatever it is, to go and access, that knowledge and advice when it comes to sales and marketing and mindset and energy and, making more money. And there's just something about that. So I get a little kick knowing that I'm reaching loads of people, but I also get a kick out of knowing that money's essentially for nothing. Didn't actually do anything. I mean, I did. I built it out, but it's like, it just keeps coming. So I think having an offer suite that brings different things as a business model to spread the risk is really important. I think you get kicks out of different things for different reasons. The passive, because you're not really doing anything and you get them in your sleep. The mastermind, the collective energy and, being with people. And then the close proximity where it's like, it's so specific and you get to know people on a different level. And because they're so high level, I love it. It feels like a high level friendship to me. And they inspire me as much as I inspire them. So I love that top of the tree as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important to have different levels as well. But it's also really interesting when you do have different levels to see the different types of caliber of clients within inside those. So, for example, we have Salon Success Manager, which is an app. So it's just a subscription app.
Perfect.
They'll use it as their tool, but then they'll have accountability calls as a group off the back of that. And it's AI and all of those things. But it's always really interesting of the low amounts that will go to the accountability call because it is just £27.
Yeah.
Or those that will just click cancel because I'm not ready for this yet or I haven't got time to use it yet. So we'll just cancel. Whereas then you get your high-end clients, it's like no bounced payments, like they'll show up to the calls. It's just a really interesting what problems you have with different levels. But you assume when you first come into the industry, a £27 product will go so much quicker than the 10 grand product.
They agonise over that decision. At that level sometimes it's like they agonise. Do I need this right now? Is it going to teach me anything? Is it something that I've maybe heard before? So there's a lot of agonising over that unless it's positioned correctly. There's that aspect. I think you're absolutely right. And when I first started, I did a $47 a month membership. And it was videos that were built out. They worked through a video every week together. It was drip fed. I did a call once a month and there was like a 40-50% show up rate. And I thought, for $47, it's like you're getting 1 hour of absolute gold.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of people, when they're investing that little amount, they can't see the value. They don't have that mindset to sponge and know that they're going to be able to take something and implement it into their business and make money. So I think that's the danger of the low level, like the 27, the 47, the 97. It's great, but there should be no close proximity to you for that. It's like message and position it correctly, market it properly. You still have to build funnels and nurture them through that $27 to $97. Like, accept that that's the case, but there's no close proximity there. Absolutely none. So those low level offers are so good. And don't get me wrong, I have people in my inbox who have bought every single mini course I have ever put out there. And I can see that they've completed it because my system shows me like the completion rates. They've completed every single one and then they'll pop up in social media and they'll have taken something and implemented it. And I'm like, go you. I mean, that is incredible. And it's that mindset of focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do.
Yeah.
So they're not at that level of investing to get one-to-one, but it's like, but I know that I can invest that. And they will message me and say, have you got any more mini courses coming out? And I'm like, I love that. I love that they are just constantly in that flow and learning and implementing and seeing results. Like, that feels really, really good for me. So I don't want to stereotype and say everyone that invests in that level is not going to do anything with it, because I've had some of the most amazing clients, and I know there's 2 in there that are saying to me at the moment, as soon as I'm there, I'm coming. And that's not an excuses mindset, because I know their circumstances,
And they're
I
working
know they're
towards
grafting,
it.
they're working towards it. They're not saying I can't afford that. They're saying when I can afford you, I'm going to be straight in there. And they absolutely will. I've had plenty of people that have came through that offer structure, the nurture sequence, and they're waiting for that time that will work out for them. And I'm like, I welcome that. You know, it's amazing. So there is very, very different mindsets.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you. I feel
Thank
like we
you so
could definitely
much.
talk all day.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy lady. So thank you. Where can people reach out to you? Where's your place that you hang out most? Obviously Instagram, right?
Instagram's like my dear diary.
Yeah.
I spend my life on there. I just love it. I've got such a nice audience on there. So Instagram is Angela McKillop Business, and LinkedIn. Obviously, I'm active on there every day since the 12th of May, 3 years ago as well.
Wow, on both platforms?
Yeah, LinkedIn and Instagram. Yeah, the worst thing was I used to change my LinkedIn posts as well, so they were different, because I thought it was more scary on there, that I was going to be judged a bit more, or it was a different audience. But now it's replicated, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, Instagram and LinkedIn, and I love to chat.
Love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katie.